welcome back. You are tuned in to another episode of Jewel TV. I hope everyone has had a good week thus far. I know I feel well rested. Last week was a little tough, but I had to come back to the table, a little whammed up this time. Because I'm a firm believer you don't have to look like what you've been through. And I do not look like what I've been through. And sometimes, you gotta make yourself look good on the outside, also feel good on the inside. So with that being said, this episode is going to be, which I'm gonna call story time. It's gonna be, I'm gonna share a situation that I went through, dealing with my domestic violence past. And it's a never heard before story. It's not in my book. Remember, I'm re-releasing my life story, my book named Jewel, in November. So make sure you guys look out for that. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna have some extra stuff in there, extra chapter. But I couldn't put every story, every situation that I've been through in the book. So there are some untold stories that no one's ever really heard and that I never really shared because it just opened a lot of wounds for me. But today I'm going to share it. I'm going to share this one situation, and I'm going to share what I wish I would have done with everything that I know now at the end. So, with that being said, I'm gonna jump right into it. So this was towards the end. I've mentioned before that my relationship with that person that was toxic, very violent, lasted for about a year and a half, possibly two. It's becoming a blur. But yeah, so this happened 10 years ago. And I've never really told anybody. And I just told my husband, like, literally hours before filming this. And I was like, you know what? And it did open up some things. Just thinking about, the craziness. But anywho, so 10 years ago. So, it started off, this was towards the end of our relationship, when I realized, okay, this is like really bad and I need to get out. And I was in the process of trying to leave. I tried to leave multiple times, and every time, I was pulled in some way, somehow. But this particular time, and I believe I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, this particular time, we went to stay in a hotel. Now, at this time in my life is when, I came into some inheritance. My mom, she left me some money. And at this time, that money was dwindling down. I maybe had a couple thousand left in my bank account. And I was using it to really live off of, because I was out of my parents' house. I was trying to protect this man. So at this time, he was actually on the run, I believe the cops were looking for him. He had a warrant out for his arrest. And, he convinced me into paying for a hotel for a couple days. And so this particular day, like, I had enough. So that night prior, I remember going to sleep and praying that nobody would text my phone, nobody called me, nobody nothing. My phone was on the nightstand, and he's laying next to me, and I'm like, please, like, nobody, like, text me. My friends would usually text me and things like that, but I was just like, please, because I don't want no problems. And which is red flag all over again. And at night, someone did, like, I believe I got a phone call or a text, I don't know what it was. So immediately jumps over, grabs the phone, who's calling you, what is this? And I was just like, listen, like, why do we always have to go through this? Like, nobody, I'm not messing with any other man, I'm not, why am I not allowed to get phone calls on my phone or have anybody reach out to me? It was just freaking crazy. And so it started a whole blow up. I believe we got into a little fight that night, and I remember going to sleep like, I really hate this man. Like, I hate this man. Like, I really just want to kill him, basically. And that morning, I woke up. I still had that rage, that hate. You know, went through this whole screaming back and forth, little fight the night prior. And that morning, I woke up. It was like early in the morning, because it was still kind of dark. The sun was just coming up, and he went to go take a shower. And at that moment, I was like, this is my time to get the heck out of here. Now, don't know where the heck I was going, because it's not like he didn't know where I lived and everything, but I just knew, like, enough was enough. Like, I'm getting out of here. So, boom, the shower's on. He's in the shower. I'm like, great. I grab whatever I can grab, and I, like, literally tiptoe out the front door of our hotel room. And I make sure I close the door quietly. I walk as fast as I can to the elevator. I'm pressing the elevator. The elevator is not coming. I'm like, bump the elevator. I'm gonna take the stairs. So I go, running down the stairs, pass through the front desk. And at this point, like, I feel like the people at the front desk, they realized something was like off, because they was just really in tune, but didn't really say anything or, you know, ask if I needed help or anything. Because I walked in willingly. But anyway, so I'm coming on out, I'm passing the front, I'm like, bump, checking out. You know how you check in a hotel, you gotta check out. I was like, bump all that, I don't even care right now. So I exit, I beeline, and I'm like, okay, great. I'm getting in my car. And I love my first car. My first car was a 2000 white Maxima. So it was sitting out there, it was pretty. I love that car. It meant a lot to me. It was the very first big purchase that I've ever made in my life, and it was very dear to me. So a car is parked out in the front. I'm like, great, almost there. Get to the car. I'm in the car, put the stuff down, put the key in the ignition, look behind me to back out, and then boom! Y'all, this man half naked with a towel around his waist, half naked, done jumped on top of the car and freaking scared the heck out of me, because I'm like, I looked behind, ain't no, like, he was nowhere in sight, and I was like, ah! And he is like, you gonna leave me on the windshield? You gonna leave me? So I began backing up. I'm like, listen, like, I gotta drive off with you. But then he begins punching the front of my windshield. And like I said, this car was very dear to me. So I stopped and I'm like, okay, stop hitting the windshield before you break it. Like, please just stop. He's like, you gonna try to leave me? You're gonna try to leave me? Like I said, this man is like outside, like literally like almost butt naked. And I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I can't believe this. Like, I was almost out. I was almost gone. Like I said, I don't know where I was going, but I know I was just leaving that hotel. And I like pleaded. I was like, please get off the windshield, please. Like, stop hitting it, stop. And I stopped my car. I said, okay, I'm not leaving. Can you please get off the car? He gets off the car and he's like, you know, hand on the car, like pulling on the door. And I'm like, just get off. So he is not calming down until like I literally put the car in park and like get out. So he's still hitting it. And I'm like, okay. I throw my car in park. I get out the car. I said, listen, I'm here. Please stop hitting my freaking car. And so he literally walks over, he grabs me by the arm, drags me back to the hotel. And that was the end of that day. It wasn't the end of that day, but I could not escape that day. My escape plan failed. And I felt so defeated that day because I said, man, again, like, here I am. Like, why couldn't I just pull off? Why couldn't I just, like, hurry up and just do it another way? Like, I felt so defeated. And literally, I was like, he wins again. Here I am. So that's one story that is not in my book. And it's very tough to tell and to share because it's like kind of reliving, you know, a lot of the pain that I've been through. But when I look back on it, you know, I'm like, there's so many things that I wish I would have done differently. Even maybe planning my escape, I was like, maybe I should have just waited till he went to sleep. Maybe I should have called. Like, nobody knew where I was at this point. You know, I kind of isolated myself from my family, and you know, because I was embarrassed. I was just like, I can't believe that I'm in this situation, and I didn't want to drag them in it. I was afraid that if I dragged my family in it, you know, he would threaten or try to harm my family. And so I was taking a lot of hits alone because I just didn't want to drag them into that. And so I wish I would have at least told somebody where I was. I wish, you know, I could have, when I decided to walk out that door, I could have made a phone call. Like, okay, either to a support system or to the cops. Like, listen, I'm trying to get out of here and I need some assistance. I wish I would just even would have alerted the front desk. Like I said, I could tell, they could tell something was a little off, but they, you know, they didn't really, if I didn't ask for help, they didn't ask me. It was just, that it was kind of that. It was kind of, you know, a little low end hotel that didn't really do anything. But I also wish that what I would have done different is kept driving. You know, I cared too much about my wonderful car that it allowed me, you know, and then I was also like embarrassed too, because I'm like, we're outside in the public, he has no clothes on, he just has his towel around, and I got this man on my car, and when I'm gonna drive down the street with some man half naked on the car, it's just like it I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm gonna stop. So once again, his antics, you know, stopped me from actually escaping and leaving. And yeah, I wish I just would have kept driving. I wish I would have kept driving, and you know, it would have got the attention of somebody to alert, you know, the authorities. To like, it would have, maybe he would have been like, all right, let me just get off of here because she's not stopping. I'm gonna get hurt. You know, there's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda, and you know, it's easy to say what you would have done if you were in the situation. But it's different when you're actually in it. And so, you know, his tactic to act crazy and, you know, really cause a scene got me to pull back and go back with this man. And then the saga continued. So, just wanted to share that, that story. Anyone who may be going through something similar, or even if you end up going through something similar, you know, you start to recognize, once again, those red flags were there. You know, he was just the controlling type. You know, at this point, I felt like a prisoner of his. And, you know, I wish I would have at least contacted a support system of some kind, and reached out for help. But, you know, the strong in me just wanted to go through it alone. And that's something that I would have changed. So if you get anything from this story, from this video, you don't have to go through it alone. Tell somebody, even if you don't even know the person. Just when you need help, just reach out for help. Because in the long run, if I would have, it probably would have prevented a lot of the things that I was going through. So just know, and I'll make another video about, you know, what resources to reach out from. You know, later when I was free from it all, like then I was able to find these resources and these different things that were available, hotline numbers, and you know, organizations that help women in the situation. And I'll do a separate video with some of those resources that could be easily accessible to you. But yeah, so be encouraged. Like I said, you know, my one advice that I would take from, like I said, that story is to not go through what you're going through alone. And don't let the fear stifle you. I think fear, like I said, fear of him harming, my family, or fear of being looked at and judged, it caused me to go through a lot of things alone. And I might not have even been that far or gotten into that situation if I just would have opened my mouth and said something. So that is the story time. I hope that it helped. I hope that it brought light to somebody, and that encouraged somebody. So I'll see y'all next week with another video. I love you guys. Peace.